Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Welcome, everyone, to the February 24th, 2025 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Would you please join me in reciting the pledge to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm Barb Lewis, the president of the board this year, and with me is fellow Commissioner Gary Merrill, our administrator Tracy Davies, our deputy administrator Don Houston, and I don't know if he's behind the post. Yeah. Our counsel and deputy administrator Eric Hostetler, and Brandy Wilson, and Jennifer Walraven. We can begin.
Resolution number 25-122, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held February 20th, 2025.
So move.
Second discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 25-122. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton is absent this morning. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment today. That brings us to item number 3. Resolution number 25-123. In the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CM APR 0221, memo transfers in batch number MT APR 0221, and procurement card payments in batch number 0221.
So move.
Second discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 25-123. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 25-124, in the matter of granting annexation petition from agents for the petitioner David Hodge Esquire and Eric Zartman Esquire, requesting annexation of 14.9 acres of land in Orange Township to the city of Columbus.
So move.
Discussion. Ready? Vote.
Vote on motion 25-124. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 25-125, in the matter of a new liquor license from Lerner's Pumpkin Farm LLC and forwarding to the Ohio Division of Liquor Control with no objections and no request for a hearing.
So move.
Second discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 25-125. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
For item number 6, we have a guest this morning, Nick Davis, the Central Ohio Regional Director for Senator Murray Marino's office is here.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So thanks for having us this morning. As she mentioned, my name is Nick Davis. I'm the Central Ohio Regional Director for Senator Bernie Moreno. With me today, I brought Taylor Armstrong. He is our regional representative as well. And we just wanted to come this morning and introduce ourselves to you guys formally on behalf of Senator Moreno, chat with you a little bit about what we do and our roles in the central region for the senator, and just hear from you issues that you're dealing with. I know that Taylor and I are both pretty familiar with trending issues in Delaware County, but would love to hear from you what things that you're dealing with, ways that you've worked with Senate offices in the past, and how we and Senator Moreno might be of assistance to you. And I'll just start by introducing myself briefly. So I'm from Bell Fountain, so that's where I live currently, and sit on city council there actually. I went to Ohio State, and while I was there, I actually got to know Delaware County pretty well because I served in the Ohio House for 1 year as the constituent aide for Senator, or then it was Representative, but now Senator Andy Brenner. So very close with him, and he's a wonderful guy, and through him, I was able to come up to Delaware County a lot and learn about what you guys do up here, and also knock a lot of doors for him during his Senate primary in 2018. So, but that was a really fun time. After I graduated, moved to D.C. and actually served in President Trump's previous administration, doing advance for the Secretary of the Interior and for the Vice President before moving home about 4 years ago and starting working in Bell Fountain. So I started with Senator Moreno just over a month ago as his regional director. I'm very excited because I know that he's going to be a wonderful senator for the state of Ohio. He cares very deeply about constituent services and serving the folks such as yourself and making sure that he and his office have these good relationships with you so that if you guys ever need anything from him or from his office, you know that we're a resource for you and we're here for you to help. Taylor?
Good morning, Commissioners. Taylor Armstrong. I'm the Central Regional Representative. The state's divided up into 5 regions, basically, and there's a regional director and a regional representative for each of those regions. Nick and I started about the same time. He's about 2 weeks before me. Prior to this, though, I had state legislative experience as a legislative aide for Representative Tim Barhorst, who has the 85th District. Covers most of Shelby, Champaign, and most of Logan County. But I'm an Urbana guy, just straight over 36. I've been there lifelong. And it's exciting to start this new gig here, obviously with the Senator. We're off to a quick start since former Senator Vance went to the White House, technically as Vice President. So we've now the Senior Senator office, but with only about a month of experience. So we're kind of moving quick and learning as we go as well. But happy to be here and happy to be a resource for you guys here these next few months and years into the Senator's first term, and however we can be helpful to you here in Delaware County, we're happy to provide that as well. So any questions, anything that you guys need us to know about going into Delaware County? I've met with Representative Brian Lorenz last week. Look to be meeting with some of the other state legislative leaders who have a pretty good hold on obviously their respective districts that they have Delaware County, because I believe Delaware County is split into 2 technically between Representative Lear and Representative Lorenz, if I'm correct, or does Representative Lorenz not have any part of Delaware County?
No, I'm a Representative Lear too.
Lear, okay.
In Lorenz, right.
Perfect.
Right.
Perfect. Okay.
But we would love to hear from you. What federal programs and agencies, grants are you currently using, taking advantage of, that might be germane to our work, serving you as the regional director for the Senator, and what help can we or he provide to you? And if you don't have a ton off the top of your head right now, that's fine, but we just wanted to make sure that you knew who we were and you had our contact information in case those things come up in the future.
Sure. Well, we'll spend the next half hour talking about that.
Yeah.
No, I'm only kidding. Because we've got, yeah. But no, I mean, we could certainly, I definitely want to, I really appreciate, first of all, your coming in and introducing yourselves. And I just have a couple questions, but as far as our part, we'll certainly be getting back to you as issues arise, and we've been working on several issues in the past too, and with working with Senator Brenner too, you do have an idea of what's going on in Delaware County, and he has the whole county. Mm-hmm. So, Commissioner?
I heard Senator Moreno speak, be interviewed over the weekend, maybe it's Thursday or Friday, so as he's settling in, it's obviously a lot to digest very quickly. He seems to be handling it pretty well, and I think we're glad to see Senator, who I believe will be very active in representing not only our state, but the national interest as well. A lot going on right now. There's a number of issues we could talk about. I'm not sure it's really appropriate in this environment.
Sure. We can set up a follow-up or something.
You already know about. And I would encourage you maybe to set up some individual meetings with us and make sure we have your contact information, and sort of reach out to both of your House members in the state and the county. Make sure, you said you saw Lorenz, I'm not sure you met with
It's been a
Representative
good clearinghouse just to get through.
Yep. So thanks for being with us today, and don't be bashful if you have questions about our county. And again, let's find an opportunity to sit down and talk.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I will make sure, should I email you with our contact information? You can get it to them? Perfect.
Yes. Thank you.
Tracy, did you have anything to add?
Tracy Davies, County Administrator. We'll be following up with a couple items, and we appreciate your taking the time to come in and introduce yourselves and make the connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
That brings us to item number 7, resolution number 25-126, in the matter of reviewing and maintaining the final plan for implementing and operating a countywide 911 system.
So moved.
Second discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lauren Ann Kamen, Director of 911. This resolution is for the annual review of the county final plan for the countywide 911 system. ORC 128.06 establishes you as the 911 Review Committee and requires that we annually review the final plan for the purposes of updating or maintaining it. It does not require any updates this year, and I recommend maintaining it in its current form.
Okay. Any questions?
No questions.
Vote, please.
Vote on motion 25-126. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 25-127, in the matter of approving the purchase of radio license and components for use in the countywide public safety communication system.
So moved.
Second discussion.
This resolution allows for the purchase of radio licenses and related components for the countywide public safety communication system. The cost for this purchase under state term contract is $179,135, and this was a budgeted expense for 2025.
Okay. Discussion.
No questions.
Vote, please.
Vote on motion 25-127. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution
Thank
number
you.
25-128, in the matter of donating county personal property not needed for public use to the Knox Technical Center.
So moved.
Second discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Jeff Fischel, Director of EMS, Delaware County. About every 5 years, we have to replace our ballistic vests that are on our ambulances for our crews, and that leaves us with about 140 expired vests. Knox Technical College reached out and asked if we would donate some of the expired vests to them so they could use it for their students in public safety.
Great.
Just a clarity, you say expired vest, which implies they're no longer acceptable for use. Any liability issues there? Or?
Their warranty has expired on them. The manufacturer recommendation period has expired on them. These are only to be used in a training scenario.
I just want to reassure that it won't be used in a form that could put any liability issues. So, okay.
Vote, please.
Vote on motion 25-128. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 25-129, in the matter of authorizing the submission of an application for a grant from the Ohio chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics for the 2025 Put a Lid on It Bike Helmet Program.
So moved.
Second discussion.
This grant is to receive multiple helmets to be handed out at PR events that we go to. There's no match involved, and these would just be handed out to kids who need a helmet or kids in need.
Great idea. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 25-129. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 25-130, in the matter of opposing the Ohio EPA's proposed facility planning area maps for Delaware County.
So moved.
Second discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Eric Hostetler, General Counsel. The Ohio EPA is currently undergoing an update of the 208 plan, including facility planning area maps for Delaware County. And this resolution would state the board's opposition to those proposed updates. Public comment period runs through February 28th, and this resolution would approve your comments and opposition and have those comments submitted before the deadline. And Director Mag could explain a little bit more in detail about what the process has been, and then I'm available to answer any questions you have about the resolution.
Sure.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mack, Director of Environmental Services. So we worked with the EPA over the course of probably the second half of 2024 through January of this year. Basically what the process was, the EPA, they initiated an update to the plan that was left off back in the early 2000s. So it hasn't been touched in quite a long time. And that was kind of, I think, their reason for wanting to move forward with trying to lock in boundaries with this update. So we had several meetings with Village of Galena, City of Sunbury. Also, there were a couple meetings hosted by the EPA with all of the municipalities throughout the entire county and the county there as well, just kind of talking about the maps and what the EPA was recommending as part of that update. So Eric and I, we also attended a township meeting last Thursday where there was quite a bit of opposition from the townships in that meeting. So this is just kind of that formalizing our comments. So with that, we'll take any questions.
Well, when you say the process, could you just explain, I mean, what are they trying to accomplish with the plan, I guess?
So they are trying to lock in boundaries as to who the sewer service provider, who the first right to provide sewer service to would be between the municipalities and the county. So the majority of the county stays as it is currently, but there are some boundaries that are changing around City of Delaware, City of Sunbury, Village of Galena, Ostrander, Ashley, so kind of saying who has the right to perform the planning in those areas for sewer service.
Right, and so our objections centers around the fact that the EPA is coming in and changing some of these boundaries.
Correct.
When we are better equipped to serve.
Yes,
Those areas
or those
someone
areas
else.
are really the planning hasn't been performed yet. So I think it's some of those areas we feel like it's a little premature to lock in boundaries at this point, not knowing, for example, north of City of Delaware, who is really going to be able to get up there to service that first.
Right.
Maybe it should be an overlap type of a situation, and that's part of our opposition as well.
Right, I certainly thank you both for your work on
Sure.
it you've done. And there's been a lot of public input on this from the
There
townships.
has, yeah, there's quite a few townships that are also writing letters of opposition. So we're seeing, I think, both sides. I think maybe some of the villages and cities may be looking at this as beneficial to them, so they would be providing a letter of support. But from the township's perspective, I think there was a pretty resounding opposition that we heard last Thursday night at that meeting.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I'll add is, I know there's been a lot of meetings. I've been involved in a few of them. Our interest is to do what we believe is in the best interest of the county as a whole, and I strongly support our position on this. The users of our sewer system, our responsibility is to them, and make sure that we have an efficient system that represents their interests and needs. And I'm not sure the suggested changes, well, I'm pretty sure, I know they don't represent the interest of our users and or the township. So I strongly support this measure.
Right, users and future users too. Anything else to add to that, Administrator?
Tracy Davies, Administrator. No, just that Tiffany and Eric have been working on this pretty hard and appreciate all of their input. It's been a long process, several months, dating into last year, and just
That's
appreciate
right.
their efforts.
Right, okay.
Great, thanks.
All right, vote please.
Vote on motion 25-130. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye,
Thank you, guys.
thank you very much.
Director Mag has her an update for the board this morning.
Great, thanks, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
Okay, so this is actually the second half of January and February is what this update is, because I know over the holidays we had a little bit later update than normal. So this is about a month and a half's worth of new projects. So starting at the top, we have the Wilson Road sewer main extension. This is an extension that's just bringing the sewer down Wilson Road towards the city of Sunbury. Not sure what they're serving yet, that really hasn't been identified, but they are extending that sewer. And then also in that same area, the Greens at North Star Phase 1. This is an EPCON development, 35 units in this first phase. And then as far as subdividers agreements, this was on last month's session as a plan approval. Now it's in subdividers agreement, Parkside at Evans Farm, Section 1. This is 39 units in the next phase of Evans Farm. And this is the one that's up on Hollenbach Road, a little north of where their current development is. And then Mercedes-Benz, this was also on last month as a plan approval. This is up there kind of in that same area at 71 and 3637. And then we have the Courtyards of Hyatt's Village. This is Section 2. This is another EPCON development at Sawmill and Hyatt's, 46 units. And then Woodcrest Crossing, we've seen this one on here several times. They're in Section 7 at this point, which is the MI development at the corner of Hyatt's and Stites Road. And then as far as acceptances, we have the Ravines at Hoover. This is a Romanelli project over there by the Vinmar pump station that we have. Is kind of across the street from that. 56 units in this section of that development. And then we have Berlin Farm West. So we have section both 3 and 4 are the next two items on here. This is another MI development. You've seen this on session several times. This is a pretty substantial development. I think they have like 500 units on the west side of the road and then another 100 on the east side. So they're progressing through that pretty quickly. And then Slate Ridge is down on the new Home Road extension. This is section 4, which is a Pulte development, 41 units in this section. And then finally, Hidden Creek Estates, section 1. This is off of 3Bs and a K, 18 units, and if you read the description there, this one has been on hold for quite some time. It was, I think it was back in 2007 is when it was platted and never went forward, so now they're finally moving that project forward. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Boy, a lot going on.
Yeah, and the other thing I forgot I wanted to bring information on. January, I think we tapped in almost 330 new units into the system, which was the most I think we've ever had in a January. We typically see like 65 to 100. 100 is usually a high month. So almost 330 was, I think we're far surpassing our budget already.
Yes.
And I was going to ask you that question, how we looking in regard to the budget? And so assuming, apparently you didn't
Yeah.
plan for 330 in January.
Yeah, I think, prior to this year and Justin being on board and being so helpful with the budget, we were typically budgeting about 800 new units per year. We've increased that because of, Justin being able to help us with those projections. So I think maybe we budgeted 1,200 for this year, but 330 in 1 month is it's pretty significant. So.
Gee, boy, thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, great.
Gee,
Okay,
thanks,
thank you.
Tiffany.
Item number 13, resolution number 25-131, in the matter of approving amendment number 1 to the professional services agreement with E.L. Robinson Engineering of Ohio for Dell SR 3-04.60 State Route 3 at Lewis Center.
So moved.
Second discussion.
Morning, Rob Riley, Chief Deputy Engineer. As you know, we're working with ODOT on some improvements at the intersection of Lewis Center and State Route 3 in Genoa Township. This will include adding turn lanes, and recently ODOT has authorized addition of a traffic signal, and so we're able to do that as part of the initial phase of construction. This amendment to the agreement with E.L. Robinson allows for addition of that signal to the plan, so we're able to bid that out. It does take, it takes over a year to get traffic poles, believe it or not. There's only really a handful of manufacturers of traffic poles in the United States, and so we typically see a lead time of 13 to 15 months. But the good news is we can get that ordered and then have that ready for installation next summer.
Are poles kind of unique in size, or are they kind of a standard size for all, or?
Most are unique to the site, yes, because the height of
So
the
there's-
pole, the orientation or direction of the pole, that can change, yes. Yeah. But this is good news. We appreciate ODOT's help with this project, and I think this will be a very welcome improvement.
Boy, I remember Pastor Frank talking to me years ago about this, putting a signal there. Genoa Baptist is right there. It has expanded over the years,
Yes.
and there's just a lot of traffic at that point. So this is very good news. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 25-131. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 25-132, in the matter of approving the plat of subdivision for Berkshire Lofts.
So moved.
Second discussion.
Berkshire Lofts is located just to the east of the AD Faro, comes off of Wilson Road, Ryder Road, which is off of Wilson Road South. This is a commercial project, and the plat has been approved by all the required county agencies.
Okay, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 25-132. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 25-133, in the matter of approving an owner's agreement for Parkside at Evans Farms Section 1 and Parkside at Evans Farms Hollenbeck roadway improvements.
So moved.
Second discussion.
So you just heard an update from Director Mag of all the activity. There's a lot more in the pipeline. This is a Parkside Evans Farm is being developed by Rockford Homes. Will ultimately include over 300 single-family homes. This is Section 1, which includes 39 lots, so this will be the first phase of that project. It is off of Hollenbeck Road, kind of at the northeast corner of Evans Farm development, and this will provide for the street and stormwater improvements for that development.
Okay, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 25-133. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 25-134, in the matter of approving right-of-way work permit summary sheet.
So moved.
Discussion.
Just one permit for you this morning, recommending approval.
Vote, please.
Vote on motion 25-134, Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Resolution number 25-135, in the matter of approving plans, specifications, estimate, and setting the bid date for the project known as the 2025 Culvert Supply Contract.
So moved.
Second discussion.
This contract will involve fabricating and installing precast concrete box culverts. These projects will actually be done by our own in-house crews, but what we do is bid out the furnishing and installing of the precast box culvert units. Works out to be a very, very efficient way to build these small bridges. Our crews will do all the prep work. They'll dig the foundations, build those. The installer will work with a precaster to furnish the units, manufacture those, and deliver them. They're installed with a crane in one day typically, and then our crew gets back to work, backfills the structure, gets the grading done and the paving done. So we typically do these force count projects at a significant discount to what they would cost if we were to bid out the entire project. But with that said, there's only so many of these we can do with our in-house crews during the year. But this contract includes 3 of these structures. 2 of them will be on Steamtown Road in Oxford Township, and then the 3rd will be on Mills Road in Scioto Township. And all of these will be under construction sequentially throughout the summer into the fall of this year.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 25-135, Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Resolution number 25-136, in the matter of establishing a maintenance bond for Dublin Court.
So moved.
Second discussion.
Dublin Court is located off of State Route 745. The work has been completed. This will place that new street on the developer maintenance for the rest of this year, and we'll accept it probably this time next year.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 25-136, Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 25-137, in the matter of authorizing the submitting of an application for capital improvements at local jails project grant for the Delaware County Sheriff's Office.
So moved.
Second discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sheriff Jeff Balzer with me today is Jail Director Nick Carafa and Fiscal Director Cal Roy. As I've said before, the good news is we don't need a new county jail. However, the jail we have needs some renovations, and this is our opportunity. The state of Ohio has grants to aid in funding these renovations, and so our team has worked closely with Finance Director Justin Navi to come up with a very good plan to apply for a grant from the state, along with the DLZ architects. I think that the plan is reasonable, and I'm hopeful that we'll get some funding.
Anything, Nate, did you want to add anything? Nate and I met the other day, and thank you. That was a good meeting, but I've seen the report from DLZ, and I'm aware of the opportunity for grants, but we talked a little bit about there are specific things that you are highlighting first and as you're going for the grant.
For this particular grant, they really seem to be focusing on like housing for medical and mental health services and programming space and things like that. So that's part of the overall project that we're working with DLZ, for the entire scope of all the renovations. But this one, with this grant, we've kind of targeted, that area of the project because it would be, all things considered, multiple phase projects.
Right.
They told us I can't shut the jail down for
Right.
renovations.
Yeah, that's right. And I know you've been on a lot of calls, meetings about this too, so thank you. Any other questions? Okay, vote please.
Vote on motion 25-137, Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 20, Director Fischel with Emergency Medical Services has a couple of discussion topics that he would like to bring forward to the board.
Morning, Commissioners. Jeff Fischel, Director of EMS, Delaware County. I wanted to provide just a quick update and then get some direction from the board about some billing topics. as you all know, in 2017, we started billing. At that time, we referred to our process as something called soft billing. And recently, or last year, the billing vendor that we use decided they would no longer provide billing services, and so we switched vendors to a company called QuickMed Claims.
In the middle of the contract.
In the middle of the contract, yes. Everybody who did 911 or EMS billing received a letter that they would no longer be providing the services in the middle of the contract. So during conversations with the new billing vendor, QuickMed Claims, we started having discussions about soft billing. And there's been a lot of changes to law since 2017. So I started working with Eric Hochstetler to really dig into the compliance piece of it. So we worked with outside legal counsel, and we dug into something called the Safe Harbor Act, very detailed. And Eric Hochstetler, outside legal counsel, myself, and QuickMed Claims, we got together and decided, or not decided, but we found that Delaware County absolutely meets all the requirements of the Safe Harbor Act to do what we should be referring to as insurance-only billing, and no longer refer to it as soft billing. So I'm looking for direction from the board to adopt a policy that we will do insurance-only billing for all individuals that Delaware County EMS will treat and transport.
Could you just explain what that means then?
Sure. So there's, in my opinion, there's three types of billing. There's hard billing, there's soft billing, there's insurance-only billing. Insurance-only billing is what we want. It's what we, I think, is what we envisioned in the very beginning. We treat and transport a patient, we bill their insurance, and the person never sees a bill. That's insurance-only billing.
Okay.
One step above that is soft billing. In soft billing, the individual is still required by law to be sent a bill. At the very minimum, you're required to attempt to collect it. It doesn't mean that you will, and at a certain point, you're able to write it off. And in hard billing, another step above that is you attempt to collect the copay or the deductible. If the person does not pay, you are able to use tactics such as deferring the patient to a collections agency, going to the Attorney General's office and deducting it from their tax return, which is not something Delaware County has ever been interested in or done. However, the spirit of our desire, as far as EMS billing is concerned, has always been to bill the insurance and the patient never receive a bill. I just want to change the wording and have it black and white in our policy that this is what we do. It's for all patients treated and transported going forward.
Right. Thank you. Commissioner?
Yes, I had the fortune or misfortune, however you want to look at, being the commissioner that was, when we had started having these conversations roughly 12 years ago. And you and Eric or Jeff, correct me if you think I misstate anything, but my memory tells me always the intent was insurance-only billing. And I recall the conversations when somebody didn't want to do something, they would say something like, well, this 90-year-old lady out here is going to get a bill and she's going to pay it, and they want to generalize to the whole county not doing it. This is a benefit to the county because most of the people around us was billing, and it made no sense not to do that, and pretty much everybody now is doing it. I believe with maybe one exception.
Yes.
And but it was always the intent, and Eric nod, so he agrees with me. It was always the intent, as I recall, we were going to bill insurance only, which includes Medicaid and Medicare. But, okay, so that's the form we initially, when we started down this road, and I think we should continue.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. Under Ohio law, too, this is included in, I'll have Eric speak to that.
Yeah, Eric Hochstetler again. What's your question?
It's my understanding that insurance policies cover this under Ohio law.
The expense? Yes,
yes,
it does.
The expense, yeah. Right.
And Commissioner Merrill is correct. The discussion, I think maybe there was some interchanging of the terms soft billing and insurance-only billing, but the intent was always clear. Mm-hmm. And as far as I'm concerned, the written policy was also generally clear that this was going to be insurance-only billing. And when the change of vendor, we just wanted to clarify some things, and the safe harbor that Director Fischel is referring to is protection under the anti-kickback statute, so that we don't find ourselves crossways with Medicare and Medicaid. And so we're going to revise the policy to include specific language related to that safe harbor provision in the anti-kickback statute. But again, the practice and the intent, I don't believe is changing. The one question that we wanted to clarify is, it was always my understanding from the previous discussions that we did not want to make a distinction between residents and non-residents. And so we just wanted to confirm that we're not doing that, because the safe harbor does allow that one distinction. We're allowed to limit our waiver of co-pays and co-insurance to residents only if we wanted to, but that kind of creates some other questions about how the agency is funded and whether that's fair to folks who might just be visiting or traveling within Delaware County. And our recommendation was that we keep it to all patients, regardless of residency.
If I may, I'll comment on that as well. I think just a couple ways you can look at that, but these are people who are temporarily in our county. The process of trying to collect on those is probably inefficient at best and would be a waste of time and money to try to collect. I think it's a bad look for us if we're going to bill those selectively. And I think it's easier to just treat them as guests in our county, and they're probably visiting a relative that lives in our county or whatever, and I think that they should be included in the process.
Yes, I think non-residents need to be included too. And then getting back to people who have been billed, I know Director, we talked about this too, so this will be taken care of.
Yes, and one thing I wanted to touch on before I move to that piece.
Sure.
If you receive calls, as we do, from individuals who were transported, received something in the mail, they will not be billed. So what they're receiving in the mail is one of two things. One, it's an insurance verification, and our billing company, Quick McLean's, is simply reaching out to them asking for them to provide their insurance. Or the second piece is something called an ABN, and this is for Medicare-only patients. And what this means is EMS, when we transport, we ask for somebody to sign their signature on, like when you go to the grocery store, you sign your signature on an electronic pad right there that you agree to pay the amount at the store. Those are the easiest ones to sign on. It's very hard to sign ours while you're sitting on a stretcher, and ours doesn't give you like an agreement to pay. It's simply a transport type thing. But for elderly, a lot of time for elderly people who might be sick or ill, trying to sign on that electronic form is difficult for them in the moment. And when Quick McLean sends off the bill to Medicare might kick that back and say, we cannot read this signature, you need to get a proper one. And so the insurance company, Quick McLean's will send a letter to the patient in the mail asking for them to clearly sign, mail it back to Quick McLean's, and then Quick McLean's will bill Medicare. So no one will be receiving a bill. It's either signature clarification or it's asking for insurance.
I saw that form because, as you know, I had a complaint that reached me, and I found it unclear in the form. So
I wondered.
Some 80, 85, 90-year-old person, I could see where they could be confused. So are we doing anything to make that less confusing, or is it just over time going to take care of itself?
I can provide feedback to the billing vendor that maybe there could be some better directions in there or something. The one thing about those forms is at least there's no numbers on it. There's no dollar amounts that is specific to a signature. The insurance one is different. It does show a dollar amount.
Yeah.
But
the gentleman that contacted me, was he insurance or was he Medicare? Do you remember?
His would have been Medicare if he got that form.
And you generally get the insurance information at the hospital or wherever, don't you?
We attempt to. Yeah. And then the second item I wanted to discuss was inadvertently some people had been or had paid these deductibles or co-pays. It's not our practice to do that. It's not what we intended. And I've worked with the billing company who's told me it'll be roughly a month to go through everybody who's done it and refund the amount of money that has been paid by these individuals. So I'm looking for direction from the board to ask the billing company to initiate that.
Yes, absolutely.
I
You're
agree.
in
I think
favor?
we're gonna vote on this thing.
Okay, all right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we don't, that's not appropriate. It's never the
No.
intent, and
No,
we need to make it right. And just as if we had a bill at home that we paid inadvertently, we would expect to be refunded, whatever that is. It's just, good business may not be the right term. Let's say it's good customer-voter relationships, and our citizens deserve that, so fully supported.
Eric, anything?
Yeah, just one
Thank
other item. So we're currently refining the standard operating guideline that the department uses for the billing, and my recommendation is that we put that into the form of a policy or a resolution for the board to formally adopt, so that way we're absolutely clear. Today was to get informal direction to
Sure.
formulate that resolution so that we can bring it back to you for a vote.
Very good.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for your
Is there a
work on
deadline? We need
this.
to get this done sooner rather than later, or?
No, in conversations with outside counsel, we're in compliance and we've been in compliance, and so there's not a concern there. This is mostly just kind of some cleanup to make sure that we're absolutely clear in our written policy about how we're complying. So there's no concern or a deadline involved. We're in compliance.
Is there any chance we're still going to be billing people until we get this resolution passed inadvertently, or is that being taken care of with the
So
vendor?
we actually paused billing, and based on this conversation, we'll go back to the vendor and have them resume that and give them clear direction on how to handle the refunds of those who had paid already. Because again, we want to make sure that in order to comply with that safe harbor provision, that we're not treating anybody differently. We're treating everybody the same. And so those refunds are important to make sure that we're treating everybody the same.
Sure, great.
And it's just the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Vote, please.
Well, there is no vote today.
Don't vote.
Oh, there's no
Maybe-
vote.
Maybe
You're
on a
right.
different day.
Thank you.
That
They
brings
have
us
their
to item number 21, which is administrator report.
Nothing from me today, thank you.
And Dawn Houston, Deputy Administrator, just wanted to invite all of you and employees and their dependents to the annual health fair, which is on Thursday.
What, at 9:30, we'll be out there?
I'll be out there probably at 6:30, maybe 6
We're in
a.m.
session.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. So it runs from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay.
And would really like to see everyone in attendance. We have a lot of new things that will be presented there, including sessions from vendors that will be coming in to speak on different topics. 50-plus vendors in attendance. We will have a food truck there over the lunch hour that offers some healthy options. So if anyone has any questions, let me know.
I'll just comment, I try to go every year, and new location last year was at Bixby. I think it was the first year, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I think it's well attended. I encourage all employees to go, and I think spouses are invited as well.
Absolutely, yes.
And I think it's an expanded and physical, could be a little crowded last year. And so I think we made a lot of changes, which I'm looking forward to seeing. And I would encourage all employees to find some opportunity to get out there every other day.
Thank you.
Great. Okay. Commissioner Merrill, anything?
A couple of things. I had the privilege and attending the Sunbury State of the City Thursday evening. I think this is the second year that's been done, and both times it's been done at the new high school. First time I was at the high school was last year during the State of the City. Second time I was at the high school was this year's State of the City. It's a beautiful high school. They did a really nice job with that. And the mayor, Mayor St. John, did a fantastic job under the weather, but did a great job of presenting everything that's going in the city of Sunbury, formerly a village, go back a couple, 3 or 4 years. A lot going on out there. Did a great job of representing his city. We had a COIC board meeting that same afternoon in front of that, and that was over in Marysville, which I also attended. Commissioner Benton and I were involved in that. And tomorrow we have a board meeting for CCAO, 3 o'clock, followed by a legislative meeting for the new commissioners, which I think it's like 55 new commissioners from the last election, which is amazing, that kind of turnover.
It's about half. That's what CCAO was mentioning.
So it's
Yeah.
a huge number, and
It
it's
is.
a great opportunity to kind of get them leadership for 2.5 days where they will get updated on the role of being a commissioner and what that entails. And there's a lot that goes into serving in this capacity because you get involved in a lot of different things. Every county's a little different. We're not all the same, but CCO does an outstanding job of helping educate and getting people moving forward as new commissioners. And in the legislative meeting tomorrow night. So that's all I have.
Okay, and we do have executive session.
We do. Resolution number 25-138, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of pending or imminent litigation and for collective bargaining.
So moved.
Second discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 25-138. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.